Welcome back to Life Plus. It's been an exciting year, and today we're winding down and thinking into the summer. It's been fun to think through a lot of different books that have hopefully been helpful as you think about just growing as a parent, growing as an individual, growing in your relationship with God. And today what we're going to do is close out with a couple of recommendations for the summer. And Neely will jump in first, and then we'll walk through them.
Yeah. Okay, so this book is written for women. It's by Nancy DeMoss Wolgemuth, which she has a lot of good Bible studies for women, good just reads for women. But this one is called Adorned, Living Out the Beauty of the Gospel Together. And she takes Titus 2, where it talks about godly womanhood and what does it mean to be a godly woman. She just kind of dissects the verses in Titus 2 about for older women, younger women, and women in general, and just talks about the different characteristics of being a godly woman. And I love the way that she goes through each chapter and talks about the different characteristics of being a godly woman. I highly recommend reading this book, but when you read it, I would recommend finding someone to read it with and getting together and just talking about what did you learn from each chapter. And I'll just show you. I did this actually a couple summers ago, and this is like my notes from each chapter, so that then when I got together with my friend, I could go back and we could talk through the chapter together about what stood out to me, what stood out to them, what challenged them. And so anyway, I just remember being convicted literally each chapter about, wow, am I being hospitable? Am I being loving? It talks about not slandering, like controlling your tongue, and that is really difficult as a woman. So it just was very thought-provoking and challenging. So I would encourage all women out there to to go through this and find someone to go through it with.
And on a parallel note, one book I'll recommend for men is a book called The Men We Need. And this book was written by Brant Hansen, and the story outline on this is basically it's a look at what it looks like, kind of the exact same thing, to be a godly man. And what does that look like in our culture today? What does that look like to stand up courageously? What does that look like to live humbly? And then what does that look like in the way we relate to our wives, our children, our coworkers, and so on? And so this is a book that I found incredibly helpful because it really kind of goes through in a real basic level, but yet a profound level of really getting us to analyze what does that mean. And for me, I found it very helpful to look at how am I not applying these things, and what do I need to consider in my own life. And so I'd recommend it again. It's called The Men We Need by Brant Hansen.
And then lastly, I don't know about you, but every summer, Doug and I like to just like compile a kind of a stack of books that we want to read that summer. We really try to spend our summers doing as much reading as we can because it gets hard during the school year. We always have a book that we're reading, but we don't get through them as fast. But also we really like to encourage our children to read or to read together as a family. Our kids are getting a lot older, so we don't read together as a family much anymore. But my two youngest, actually, they don't let them see this video because they actually will still let me read out loud to them. And so this is a series that I wanted to recommend for families. I would say it's probably older elementary or middle school age. There are some heavy themes in it. It is written by Andrew Peterson, who is actually a Christian music artist. It's called the Wingfeather Saga. It's about a story of a family and just kind of they are royalty, but they don't know it, and then kind of the end of the world type theme, and them trying to discover their identities and then help save the world kind of thing. So lots of Christian undertones in them, lots of ways to have good Christian worldview conversations based on these, but also it's fantasy, so it's a lot of action and just easy to pay attention to, I guess. So again, that's called the Wingfeather Saga. There's actually 4 books in the series. I'm missing one. But just another one if you're looking for something to read with your family. It's a great one. So yeah.
With that, we hope you have a great summer, and thank you for reading along with us this year.